y ya puedes comenzar cuando quieras.
Vale, espera un momentito. Hola, buenos días a todos y a todas. Muchas gracias por asistir a este webinar. También dar las gracias a Paint&Coatings por organizarlo. Es un pequeño adelanto de la feria Paint&Coatings que se celebrará pues, el próximo 16 y 17 de noviembre, siempre que todo vaya bien, que así esperemos, donde también os encontráis en nuestro propio stand. El stand nuestro es en el 102, así que os esperamos allí y que os podamos ver físicamente. En este webinar pues, podemos contar con la asistencia de algunos de nuestros proveedores con soluciones para la industria de la pintura y recubrimientos, aunque de momento pues, sea, como he comentado, virtualmente. Antes de presentaros al siguiente ponente, de la firma ColorLite, me voy a presentar yo mismo y una pequeña pincelada de lo que es la empresa en la que trabajo, Lumaquin. Muchos de vosotros ya me conocéis, yo soy Chema Moreno, trabajo en Lumaquin desde el año 97, primero empecé como asesor de SAT, de Servicio de Asistencia Técnica, y desde el 2014 aproximadamente pues como técnico comercial. Es decir, que toda una larga experiencia en el tema de laboratorios. Lumaquin, perdón que me equivoco de diapositiva, un momentito por favor. Muy bien. Lumaquin nace hace como unos 45 años con la idea de dar soluciones a los diferentes sectores de la industria, sobre todo a nivel de laboratorio, donde suministramos equipos y consumibles para el control de calidad. En algunos casos, como es el tema de recubrimientos que estamos hablando ahora, pues también tenemos equipos para planta piloto y producción, hasta 2.000 litros aproximadamente. ¿Qué fabricáis? ¿Qué fabricáis y qué fabrican nuestros clientes? Principalmente vosotros fabricáis recubrimientos. Pues pueden ser pinturas, tintas, barnices, esmaltes, entre otros. Componentes para automoción o accesorios para automoción también. Sector de packaging, como no, papel, cartón, film, cosmética, farmacia, textil, material eléctrico y electrónico, componentes plásticos, marcas viales y un largo etcétera, donde podemos englobar pues, también centros tecnológicos o universidades. ¿Cuál es nuestra filosofía de negocio? Pues somos técnicos especialistas en diferentes sectores y productos que fabrican nuestros clientes. Os podemos proporcionar cualquier tipo de equipo o accesorio consumible que necesitéis de primerísima calidad para vuestro laboratorio. Este es el motivo por el que trabajamos con primeras marcas. Luego lo podréis ver en el cuadro que vamos a presentar a continuación. Os podemos asesorar y ayudar en vuestras necesidades. Os proporcionamos servicio de asistencia propio. Damos respuesta rápida a nuestros clientes. Estamos a vuestra entera disposición cuando se nos necesita y siempre ofrecemos una mejora continua del servicio. ¿Cómo puede ayudarles Lumaquin a controlar la calidad del producto en el proceso de producción de un recubrimiento? Bueno, a continuación vais a ver un cuadro que os voy a explicar con un mapa de procesos, ¿no? De la fabricación del recubrimiento, desde el principio hasta el fin. Entonces, a ver si se está viendo ya, sí. En este esquema podemos ver en el plano horizontal el proceso de fabricación de recubrimientos desde su inicio hasta su acabado. Y en el vertical, los ensayos y los parámetros que influyen en cada paso del proceso. Asimismo, podemos ver longitudinalmente las diferentes soluciones que tenemos y el nombre de la representada o de la marca con la que trabajamos para cada proceso. Entonces, veréis que existen diferentes soluciones para cada ensayo. De esta manera, podemos controlar todo el cuadro completamente, con diferentes soluciones a vuestro proceso completo. Ahora, y en este caso, vamos a hablar de ColorLite. ColorLite es bueno, aquí forma parte, como veis, del control de calidad y ajuste de nuestro producto, ¿no? ColorLite, como su nombre indica, es una empresa que es especialista en la medición del color, nace en el año 2003 y se caracteriza porque tienen sus equipos, son innovadores y ofrecen mucha precisión en sus equipos. Ahora os voy a presentar a David Pryor. Now, I'm pleased to introduce you Mr. David Pryor, who will tell you more and better about the company ColorLite and the topic, the high precision color measurement in the industry. Go ahead, Mr. Pryor.
So I would like to take this opportunity to give an overview of our company. First of all, we're a relative new company making color measurement instruments. And then one of the things I'd like to explain is a new device that we have down, a new benchtop spectrophotometer. So our company is a relative new company. We were founded in 2003 here in Germany. and we develop and produce these products ourselves. So we're a small family-owned company. Most of our competitors are larger companies who are on the shelf, who are traded on the stock exchange. But we're a smaller company and more customer focused, I think. So this is what we do. We have handheld spectrophotometers. We develop and provide inline equipment for measuring in the production. And we also supply, or we develop, benchtop spectrophotometers. And one of these new spectrophotometers is the one which I'm going to talk about a bit today then. Okay, so this is just an overview of our handheld instruments. So being a new company on the market, you know, for spectrophotometers, or a relative new company, we have to think of ways of providing more service or better equipment than our competitors. So one of the things which we have here is that we have a spectrophotometer with a very small probe, so we can place the probe on smaller parts. That is quite a unique system. We have integrated systems like this one here, which have a gloss meter integrated. One of the unique features of this system is that it has a QR code scanner. That means you can scan a QR code and enter. That way, you enter information about the sample which you're measuring. And this system here is also a rugged system, so it's IP65 proof, so it's for very robust industrial situations. Okay, but we want to show you our new device which we are bringing onto the market now is our ColorTube device. ColorTube is a benchtop spectrophotometer. So I'll go through the parts here. So these are more the details about the specifications. So it's like other desktop instruments that it has a gloss trap which you can switch on and off. We scan the samples in 3.5 nanometer intervals, normal spectral range. One of the features which our instrument has is that we can adjust the measuring area, stepless adjustment between 3 millimeters and 30 millimeters. But we also have included in this system some unique features. So one of the features is that it has an optional transmission mode. So if you only want to measure reflectance, you don't need to purchase this part of the equipment. We have a lot of optional things. So one of the things is 60-degree gloss measurement. We're not calculating the gloss, we are measuring the gloss. It's integrated in the system. Then we have a possibility of UV adjustment. We have an option for integrating a camera to position the samples. A unique feature which we offer is the infrared thermometer to measure the sample temperature, which I will go into a bit now. And we're using LEDs as a light source. So LEDs means that it lasts a lifetime. You don't need, it's very low maintenance. You do not have to change the light source, which can sometimes affect the absolute accuracy over a longer period of time. So this slide here is just to demonstrate the effect of temperature of the sample on LAB values. So and LAB readings. So this is quite an extreme graphic here. It's showing the difference between 80 degrees and 24 degrees, but you see how much that plays a role in when you want to measure very accurate color difference. So like with a red surface, for example, a color difference of 10 degrees would make a difference of 0.7 DE units. And that's obviously, so even 5 degrees is 0.35. So normally you would be out of range when the sample temperature isn't exactly as it should be. So with our equipment, we can measure the color temperature, the surface temperature, and use that information to see if a reading is out of range. That might be a reason that the temperature has changed from the standard temperature, from the standard you're measuring to the sample you're measuring. Okay, another thing which is unique to our system is that we're using LEDs. So we have a special UV channel for producing UV light, and that UV component is adjusted over the software. So it has a stepless adjustment possibility for adjusting the amount of UV light. That means that you can you don't use a filter. The filter can change with time. So you have a very, very accurate UV amount over a long period of time, and that is very good for adjusting the device. So you have a perfect inter-instrument agreement then between different systems, and it's a more intelligent way of actually measuring or controlling the light. The same is true for the vis light in the visible range. So we can also adjust that using software. So we have, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have systems which are just used for reflectance measurements. This is an example of such a system. So it can be put up, it can be used vertically or horizontally. And so if a customer who just wants to measure paints and solids or granules, they use it, and they don't need the transmission mode. Transmission mode is normally always a part of a normal desktop spectrophotometer, which normally, if somebody doesn't need it, he doesn't have to buy it then with us. And so the way we've solved this solution for customers who want to measure in transmission mode, so that's measuring plastics, it can be measuring liquids like this. We have an extra adapter, so this arm pulls out, it's held in place with magnets, and we clip it in, and inside the spectrophotometer is an extra spectrometer. So an advantage of this is that we can also use a spectrometer with a higher resolution. That is important because reflectance measurements, the curve which we measure, is normally quite flat, but if we're measuring transmission, the curve can be a lot steeper. So we can add a spectrometer inside with a higher resolution. Also, extended version means we can offer the system with a touch screen display and other features which I mentioned at the beginning, like video cameras, infrared sensors. So this is another way the system can be used. Instead of adding the arm here, we can set it up on a stand like this, so that the opening of the spectrophotometer is pointing downwards. So that's an ideal way for measuring powders. So the powders are pressed against the opening of the tube, which is facing downwards. And for such applications, we also supply a press and also the powder holders and things. So this is another application for this system. So it's a very versatile system. So it can be used looking upwards, it can be used looking downwards or horizontally. Then we also supply we also supply quality control software like any other system for quality control applications. This is database software. This connects directly to the device, and it can be normally it's used to operate the system. And because our customer base for this new system. This is going to be a really high-end system with a very, very good repeatability, 0.01 delta E units. That's why we see a future customer is then with formulation software. So we have a formulation software. This is our own formulation software, which can be purchased with this device. So it's so we have a complete solution. It's the high-end spectrophotometer, very high accuracy, thanks to measuring surface temperature at the same time as just not the color, and then also a high-end formulation software. Okay, so I'm not. We have and then just as an overview, we also have another product which we sell is then inline measuring system. I think inline measurement is something which is increasing in being used always more in the future. So we have inline systems. So this is an overview of our systems which we provide for measuring direct in the production. Okay, so these are our contact details. So our distributor in Spain is Lumaquin. I think Lumaquin is the company who organized this presentation, and so that will be the end of the presentation then. From our side. So I think I have to go out or leave the presentation now.